fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight it's the Alive Church Xfinity Series with RGR. We're in Las Vegas for the Las Vegas 200. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. Jared, we're down here. I guess we're rolling the dice here tonight.
Absolutely, Dean. I mean, this is going to be a fast track. The cars are going to be a handful tonight. And I think we're going to see some really good action if we, have those multiple lines come in.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we got a bit of a loose car out here, Jared. Do you project that the high line will be viable here tonight?
Well, as you know, in order to run the high line, you actually have to have a tighter car because the closer you get to the wall effects shift the arrow forward. So if you already have a car that's loose, it's going to be difficult to run the wall. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. But I think you'll see some guys move up the racetrack as the run goes on here tonight.
Oh, it should be interesting. Get a look in here, and Bernard Persson rocking that Spears Motorsports car. He's back out on the track. That'll be interesting. We know he likes a loose car. There's Bryce Reiner out there. And looks like Baron Labasco just headed to the pits. There he is in the Hardee's machine. Fellow boothmate out there, Jared.
Yeah, getting some action in. He was at Atlanta, I believe, a couple weeks ago. It was looking really good, and I think may have gotten caught up in something or something happened to him. I don't really remember, but, Baron, an Xfinity legend, if you will.
Craig Martin out here on the track, so a bona fide rookie for us here in the number 75. Good to see that. Of course, Royce Valley new this season. He's out there. Gonna be good out here. Big field tonight, so we expect some hard racing. Loose race cars, Jared, people usually get worried about cautions and whatnot with loose race cars, and I always say it produces green flag racing generally.
It does, and that's typically how it always works, right? The looser the car, the harder the car it is to drive, the longer the green flag runs are, right?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key tonight. I mean, you're going to look at your regular people out here, like Bryce Reiner. I'm looking around. I haven't found Leal out here tonight. Maybe he's not here, and I don't see Ripka either. So big field, but a couple of big hitters missing, Jared.
Yeah, there is. I mean, you look down this entry list, and, we don't have Lance Ripka, like you were saying. I think we're missing a couple other people here tonight, too. I mean, we don't have Darren. Is Darren Bruce? Yeah, Darren Bruce is there. There's so many drivers on here, Dean. I'm trying to look through here real quick.
It's hard to find the one you're looking for sure.
Yeah.
Right now, though, everybody gridding up, getting ready to go. Let's get into tonight's starting grid. On the point, the 14 Batman, Bryce Reiner out front. He's going to be tough to deal with from the pole. His time, a 30.672. Adam Recker on the outside of row number 1. He's been dangerous all year long. Jason Ratliff and Eric Beller will start in row 2. It's Persson and Hebert in row 3. You got Helm and Ratliff, Greg that is, in row number 4. Row 5 features Michael Ottoviani and Jason Jackson. Darren Bruce and Tony Ratliff will round out your top 12. Looking a little further back, you got Newton and Hamlin.
Yeah, and you look at some of the guys that didn't qualify, we got Jason Spear, Reggie Evans, Steven Linger, and Zach Hartwick making a return to the series. All those guys put times in, but you look at Brandon Sheffield, he didn't put a time in 29th. Paul K. Travis starting 37th tonight, didn't put a time in. George Racon, 39th, didn't put a time in. How about Kulikowski, our Daytona winner? He'll start 38th tonight, Dean. 40-car field, and I'm noticing that some of these guys aren't actually in the server, like Paul K. Travis, Hartwick, and George Racon. They all aren't actually in the server, so not sure what's going on there, but it looks like we're going to be down about 4 cars.
All right, couple of guys sitting this one out, apparently. And they're almost ready to go racing here in what I expect to be one heck of a good race. Reiner going to be tough to deal with from the pole, but he's got some guys around him that are going to be looking to get in front of him early. Basically, everybody in that top 6, except for Reiner, they're known for going to the front early. So, going to be a fun one. Here we go.
Green, green, green.
Green down and away. It's Reiner and Wrecker going down into one.
Reiner with a good start there. Everybody's starting to get stacked in here. A little bit further back in the field. Everybody trying to get a place in.
Everybody looking pretty good through corner 1. Always treacherous here at the loose car front. That was a real bad time for Hamill, and he's trying to stabilize not just his car, but his heart rate. Behind him, 3 wide. Reggie Evans in there, Nick Burris in there. All kinds of cars. Sheffield's back in here. Holy smokes! Evans down to the apron, up the track. Hamill gets run into the wall, and he is dead up there. Oh boy. All kinds of stuff at the back of the field. We stay green. Hamill getting the worst of it there. None of his doing that time, Jared.
Yeah, it looked like he just got stacked up, right? I mean, I think he did a good job trying to get out of the way. But once he got loose the first time, I mean, it was over from there.
Well, Evans below him got on the apron, Jared, and then shot up the track into him. Very tough. Nothing he could do on that one. And that's easy to do, isn't it? You touch that apron, you're going to get out of sorts. As Bernard Persson has took the race lead, Jared. I mean, that's not a real surprise, is it?
No, I mean, Bernie loves this track, done really good at this track, so no surprise there, and now taking the lead. Good to see him back out here tonight, Dean.
Yeah, good to see him for sure. Feeling a little better these days, and he's out here racing. Now, the key is, like I said, I expected a few cars actually to pass Reiner, but only one has. So this is actually good for Reiner. He is not going to go up there and lead the first 10 or 15 laps and overdrive his car, is he?
No, he's not, and that's the key. Is he's going to sit there and really just kind of let the race come to him. We've got a long race, Dean. It's 125 laps, so it's not. I mean, you got a long time to think about how to attack this race.
Really do. Jason Jackson and Jason Ratliff trying to decide who the better Jason is here right now. That battle for 7th place.
And that is really the only battle. We got Darren Bruce on the outside of Adam Newton, but he's going to tuck back in line. So that's really the only battle we got in the top group of the field right now.
Bruce not qualifying perhaps where he would.
Toward the front of this field.
Looks like Labosco making some moves, or no, he's getting past here. That's Claus Williams making the move on Labosco. Spear behind them's already picked up 5 spots. He's into 20th. Back up front. Persson pulling away right now. Question is he overdriving the machine, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but, at the same time, you can't put down good lap times and not really overdrive the machine per se.
Yeah, absolutely. The time will tell on that only on lap 9 of 125. Everybody finding their home. Jackson, who lost a points lead last week, I believe. Let's quickly take a look at our points situation if I can get that up for you. Bear with me, folks, as we bring up that point situation. So this is unofficial. It actually had officially Leal had jumped over Wrecker as there's some bonus points involved and everything. And no, Jason Jackson was not the leader. That was in the other league, the Gen 6 league. So we're going to have a little bit of shake-up. Leal not here tonight. This is going to shake, and Ripka's not here. So unknown names as far as championships all over the top of the board.
Yeah, that's huge. That was the name I was trying to find. Jorge Leal not in here tonight, Dean, and that's going to, I mean, he's going to have to take a provisional. I don't know how many points that is. I mean, we've got 40 drivers. I can't imagine it's going to be very many points, but that's a tough thing, and Ripka right there too, who ended up, having that great race last week, came up just a little bit short at the end, and finishing second.
We just hopped on board with Brian Helm, and up ahead you could see Beller rocking the wall. I mean, he just loves the high side, doesn't he, Jared?
Yeah, he makes it work, and that, if this setup is loose, I mean, you do want to run a little bit higher. That'll make the car a little bit tighter as the race goes on. So maybe, he might be able to come to the front. I mean, he finished on the podium last week. Great run for him, and he is ripping the wall. I mean, he is eating the paint off that thing.
He really is. It's fun to watch up there. And, I'm interested to hear what you just said. Generally, running the high line, to me, you're going to make the car looser, not tighter. Am I got it backwards, Jared?
Yeah, the higher up, the real high, the real high, where he's running 3 and 4 is definitely going to loosen that car up more. The middle groove were what I consider high in turn 1 and 2, because if you run really high in 1 and 2, it's like running over rocks. It's really, really bumpy up there. That's not too bad where he's running. The middle groove will kind of tighten up a loose car, I should say.
All right, so my clarity level still at 0, Jared. that's just because I speak Canadian.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm not doing a good job tonight.
Oh no, you're doing fine. Trust me, Jared. The brain not on full working order Sunday night here. A little drowsy, but I'm amped up for this race, and I'm amped up for the way Beller is rocking that wall. We have got to get on board with him as Bear gets underneath him. This could get really interesting really fast. We hop on board with Eric Beller.
Yeah, Beller, we almost contact with Bear there as we got on board. My goodness.
Threw in and give him a little shot there.
Yeah, and Beller, if this setup is loose and he's running the wall, what that does is it will make you looser the closer you get to the wall. So that's the key, is the wall effects will cause the car to take a tight setup and make it looser. But if the further down from the wall you run, Dean, the tighter the car will be, obviously. So, if you're running that middle groove or running the low groove and you narrow up your entry, that'll make the car tighter. So I'll be interested to see how Beller will be at the end of this run.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for him. He's already hemorrhaged a couple of spots there as Ratliff and Bear got around. Now here comes Jackson and Brian Helm along with Adam Newton. Newton up 4 spots, looking pretty strong here. I know there's a little personal race going on between Newton and Helm too. They're riding 8th and 9th. Derek Whitford out here looking strong tonight, Jared. He's already picked up 6. Another big mover, a few spots back in 15th. Troy Torgensen up 8 spots.
And Troy moving forward, and you look at all these guys throughout the field, Dean, and the field is getting spread out. I mean, we're already talking about a gap from first all the way back to, let's say 15th place is already 6.5 seconds.
We had 40 drivers in the server, only 36 taking the field. I don't know if that's all they allow or not, but this is a big, big field, Jared, to have basically an entire field spread out. Are you a little bit surprised by that?
Not really. Vegas is such a aero track that, as the race goes on, you start getting those aero effects. It makes it harder and harder to try to pass on somebody. You're running the same setup, so the only difference you really get is that you've managed your tires better than the guy in front of you, right? And that's how you make passes. Or you make all your passes in the first 5 or 10 laps. That's your 2 options. Otherwise, you have to kind of wait around and try to pick off guys one by one as the long run kind of develops.
Well, we're going to see. We've seen Person take option B. Reiner took option A. We're only on lap 20 right now is about when that transition will start. Right now, looking in on Ratliff and Beller. They're sitting in 5th and 6th. There's Jason Jackson behind them. Then Helm, Newton. Looks like something went on with Reggie Evans out on the track. Look in on him. He seems to be okay. Looks like he went off track momentarily.
Yeah, I'll get a look in on it. Yeah, it looks like he got loose off turn 4, Dean, and went right through the grass, but did a good job holding on to it.
All right. Good recovery by Evans, and that's going to be something to watch here tonight, is getting loose and going through that grass. I think we'll see more of it. Right now, Bruce trying to make his way forward. He's underneath Derek Whitford. Whitford's up 5. Bruce up only 1 spot if he completes his pass. So thinking he's been managing his stuff, but hard to tell. Jason Ratliff is down 9 spots though, Jared. I'm assuming he had some kind of issue, maybe some contact, or maybe got loose and went through the grass himself earlier in the race.
Yeah, I was kind of watching Jason. He was on the high side, Dean, and really, I mean, I've watched that battle most of the race. He didn't have anything really happen to him per se. I just think that the car kind of gave up on him a little bit.
All right, so just not suiting him perhaps. Right behind him, Otto Viani in that 53 car. Haven't seen a lot of Michael, but here he is, back out here in the Sunday night series. Good to see him. We'll see how he does as this thing goes along.
And you look at Baron Labasco up 5, Dean. But I'll tell you a guy I wanted to kind of focus on is Brandon Sheffield. Dean, coming out of the first 3 races, Brandon had some bad luck, really bad luck. And if he hadn't had bad luck, may be our point leader coming into this race. That's how good he's been running. But tonight, he has not been running good. I don't know if he's got a new setup, wheel and stuff. I don't know if he's got. I know he had some computer issues. I don't know if those things have been resolved, but he is just not. Doesn't look like he's having a lot of fun tonight in 28th.
Well, the car, I'm telling you, traditionally in the Xfinity car, guys get used to saving that right front. That is really what this has been all about. As we look in on Edward Kane, just passed a few people. He's up 3 spots. But tonight, the car a little different, a little loose. You got to kind of save the right rear. And that's going to change who it suits. And that evidence showing up front. Bernard Person notoriously likes a nice loose race car. He's got one. And you see behind him right now, Reiner ripping the wall looking to get a run on Person.
And Person really, the last couple laps, the laps have started to kind of fall away. Him and Wrecker and Reiner have both been quicker. They're the 2 quickest guys on the track. Everybody else behind him starting to move around. A Bear very loose off turn 4. Almost contact with Greg Ratliff.
All right, there is a Bear, Greg Ratliff coming through. Greg looking strong here tonight. Lap 26 at 125 in the Las Vegas 200 here with the Alive Church Xfinity Series. Live fully alive.
George Dibble on pit road. I think that is an unscheduled stop for the 94 machine.
All right, so the 94 comes in, drops off some French fries to the crew there. Not sure what's going on there.
He got very loose a couple times on the track, and I think maybe he just said, I'm pitting, taking some tires here.
Could be. I mean, like I say, this car is not going to suit everybody out here. Some guys will not like it, and they might call it a night, especially if they're back in those 30th position and beyond. And it looks like that might be the case with Mr. Dibble. He might be done for the evening.
And you got Person. And this is the key in the Xfinity car. It is so difficult to pass. You can catch somebody all day long, but passing him is something totally different. Well, you're seeing it right now.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. With a car like this, where if you put the power down, the right rear is going to burn off. You're going to get loose. If you get underneath a Person here, there's just no way off the corner, is there, Jared?
No. And if you're loose, you can't pass him on the bottom. The guy that's on the high side will always have the advantage because he's going to pinch you off, right? And it's going to cause you to have a tighter wheel on you. And you're seeing it right back here with Beller and Newton and A. Bear.
I'll tell you, I can remember having a car like this, and I used to like riding in second. You can see here as we're on board with Reiner, he gets right to the bumper of the 8, and what he's doing here is he's disturbing the air on that rear spoiler of the 8 machine, making his loose condition even worse, Jared. Matter of fact, the guy in front of him, Bernard Person, used to do this to me religiously.
Yeah, it's making it hard. But the thing is, Bernie's just putting his car in a really awkward position. right, for Reiner. Reiner's not able to really get a run. He might get a run now. He really backed up that corner. He's going to force Bernard to the outside.
That was a great move. Great run by Reiner. Reiner's so difficult. The 8 will look to try and hold him off from the high side. Good run through the corner, but Reiner gets off the corner very well. Big run by the 8 at the line. It's Reiner.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It looked like Bernie actually got looser on the high side than Reiner did on the bottom, and now Bernie can't get back to the throttle, or he's going to do the undercut here, Dean.
He's trying to cross him back over. He's going to make it work, so the 8 comes right back.
I'll tell you who's loving this is Adam Recker, who has just picked up about 3/10 on these guys here.
Yeah, this is Recker suiting him very, very well right now. Him and Greg Ratliff and Jason Jackson's coming. Jackson been so good on the 1.5 miles. Battle still for the lead. Person and Reiner slugging it out. Claus Williams heads to pit road.
Yeah, he was in 16th or 17th position when he pitted. Did not see anything happen to him, but on pit road. Top 6, all running the same lap times. The fastest guy in the server right now is actually Jason Ratliff in 7th. So, Jason, you talked about him sliding back, Dean. He might have just, I didn't see anything happen to him. He might have been just saving his stuff, Dean.
Maybe, and maybe a smart move if he's moving forward now. The battle for the lead continues. Recker continues to close, and it looked like that time Person a little loose. Give it to Reiner. Reiner has took the lead, but Recker has closed the gap.
Yeah, now Adam Recker can kind of, he didn't have to use up his tires. He's been running the same pace the entire time. So he has been able to maintain his pace, whereas Reiner and Bernie, those guys had to use a little bit more. Whether they were using all of it or anything like that is up for debate, but they had to use a little bit more. And you're seeing it right now. Those guys just kind of developing as Bernie's starting to lose a little bit of pace here off the corner.
Yeah, you know, he's really got to hang in there because he does not want to let Reiner go. Only about 6-7 laps to pit stops. So if he can hang a little closer than he is now, I mean, I don't know. Recker's sitting there. Recker wants by. This is a tough situation here. Reiner out front is a dangerous, dangerous thing.
And here we go. We had Scott Olson out here. I don't know what he was asking, but he said even at Texas. But I don't know what that means, Scott. Sorry, out there in the chat.
It was probably from something I said earlier, a little reference to me and Mr. Person. We have a history at Texas.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense. As you see, Recker now getting underneath the Bernard Person here.
Here comes Adam Recker in the 11 in the Columbia machine. Love it. He's been rocking the bottom here. He's been doing a nice job. Person holding them off for now. A little further back, you got Greg Ratliff, Jason Jackson. Here comes Jason Ratliff. Like you said, he's been closing in, running great times. A 5.6 that time by, so just off the pace set by Reiner.
I'm still impressed that Eric Beller has basically been scraping the wall down in 3 and 4. That car, I mean, he's not making great time. He's not losing time. He's not making great time. He's about a 10th off the guys in front of him. But he is hanging in here running the high side.
Well, what I like about Beller is, first, he likes the high side. That's just fun. But second, he searches around a little bit, Jared. I mean, I've seen him there in 1 and 2, right in the middle of the track. He'll search
Bernie hit the wall.
Find something.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Sorry, Bernie hit the wall up turn 4. That's going to open the door again for Recker, but Recker couldn't do anything with it. But you're exactly right, Dean. I mean, the Beller is searching around, making something happen. Really, that's really the battle. 4th all the way back until about 11th place are all in the same kind of pocket of energy right now.
You see Bruce scrapes the wall a little further back. He's in 9th. Otto Viani right behind him, along with A-Bear. A-Bear been fading here after a decent start. There's Tony Ratliff back in 12th position. And Edward Kane. Now Kane's he made some early moves. At 21, looks stout here tonight. He's up 6 spots right now, and he is matching our leader's lap times here, Jared.
He's doing such a great job, and you look at him, he's in 13th position. He's going to gain up on a little bit on Tony Ratliff here, but you look at the lap times, and you're right, Dean. Reiner, Greg Ratliff, and Edward Kane are the fastest guys this time around. Looks like right now Bernard Persson found a little pace. He's pulled away from Adam Recker a little bit.
Yeah, he had a good lap that time. Troy Torgensen also up 9 spots, running quick times himself. So Torgensen finding his way. He's in 14th. Jason Spear right behind Brian Helm. He's up 9 spots. How about Jason tonight?
Yeah, Jason doing a great job. Didn't qualify well as we got somebody on pit road. That's Ottaviani, Dean, heading to pit road.
I like it. So the short pit here on lap 41 from Michael Ottaviani. This is a scheduled stop, just a lap or so early.
I still like it. Come down pit road, get the feel. I mean, you can do, Dean, 55 laps on tank of gas, so there is still time. I mean, it's not the call I would make to stretch this all the way out, but Greg Ratliff now coming in.
So pit stops are
that's
occurring.
hot. Bear is in.
Yeah, Greg Ratliff, Bear, Whitford coming in. So it's begun here, Jared. Reiner out front, you know what he's going to do? He's going to go long, there's no doubt about it. Who will come in to cover or try and short pit him here? We get a look. Looks like Beller might be slowing up to go in. Aggressive stop. I don't know if he can make it. He will. That was a good stop by him. Kane also.
Kane's in.
Toadman. Baron Labosco's in. Valley's in. So lots of guys coming down pit road.
And now it's going to be interesting. Like, Dean, I think the pit strategy is if you're up at the front of this field, you have to dictate like kind of where the strategy goes for yourself. But as you get further back, as you see Adam Newton going to fly in with Darren Bruce, they're both out of control heading on to pit road. That's going to let Tony Ratliff catch up as well as Troy Torgerson. They all smushed together there, but Bruce and Newton lost a ton of time getting on pit road. Yeah,
they all seem to be getting in super aggressive, which is pushing them wide. But I don't know, the time will tell. We'll see how fast they are or are not. Reiner staying out. So but is Persson and Recker.
If I'm a guy like Jason Spear, I qualified 25th here tonight, I would stretch this thing long, Dean, and try to make an overcut and try to have some good tires at the end of the run, because that's how you're going to pick up track position when you don't have the track position at the beginning of the race. So I like these moves by these guys that are deep in the field that have kind of started to make moves forward. Try to pit late or pit early like Klaus Williams did. But these guys in the middle right here, I think this is kind of a leader kind of play.
Here comes Reiner. So Reiner first in. How about that? Reiner says, I'm going to cover the rest of the field off. He leaves it to Persson and Recker to go long.
Yeah, now if I'm Bernard Persson, I have to make a decision. Do I cover him off, or do I stay out, 2, 3, 4 laps longer and try to make this thing work, with a little bit tire advantage at the end of the run?
There's Craig Martin,
he's slowing up.
Newcomer coming in.
Nope, he's not. He's staying out. Sorry.
And above their leader, Bernard Persson. Not sure who that is at the moment.
66 Museum, Nick Baris.
Nick Baris up there. Okay, so on fresh tires, Baris sliding around.
Getting one of his 2 laps back.
So action all around. How long does Persson and Recker stay out? And can they make it work? These are big questions.
Recker's coming in now. So that's going to leave Persson as the last driver standing in terms of the lead group. Jason Ratliff's still out there. Jake Musial's still out there.
And there they are. So they're a ways off the pace, though. Reiner comes out behind Greg Ratliff. So will this hurt him? I don't know. Greg Ratliff, let's take a look. He pitted on lap 41, Reiner on 45. So 4-lap different tires here. This could hurt Reiner's lap time slightly.
Yeah, it's always harder, in my opinion. It's it's a lot easier to be aggressive for me. That's why I always like the overcut. I like to be able to be on the front foot and go attack these guys on older tires. When you're on older tires, you have to play defense. You have to conserve your tires. You have to know when to race. You have to know when to give up positions and things like that. Otherwise, you're going to just drop like a rock. And you see right there the difference in tires as Reiner passes Ratliff.
Yeah, I think he wanted to get that done as fast as humanly possible. We've seen Claus Williams out there as well. He is in the mix. Jason Jackson in the mix. Beller. And there is Wrecker. Wrecker fell back a bit on that pit stop. Here comes Jason Ratliff. So, Person coming off of pit road. I don't think he had a great stop here. Hard to tell until it all sorts out. But he's going to be behind several cars. So, and Jason Ratliff on pit road, a little loose. Think he missed his stall. No, he got in okay, so he made that work.
Yeah, everything's going to sort out. I mean, right now, Person's going to be back kind of in the middle of this field, but boy, Herb Ashley, I think that was Herb Ashley, got split 3 wide by Beller and Wrecker. He does a good job staying out of the way there.
All right, so right now, Musial's still on the track. He leads this thing. Bryce Reiner takes over second. He will take over the lead at some point. Greg Ratliff in third. Jackson in fourth. Now he's 3 seconds behind Bryce Reiner. Claus Williams right there. There's Beller, Wrecker. I mean, as we keep looking, then it's Bruce, Newton, Hebert, and Person. So Person slipped back to 11th place here, Jared. I don't know what he can do from here, but he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and Jacob Musial continued to stay out. Like I said, you can do about 55 laps on a tank of gas. Nothing wrong with going all the way on that and trying to catch a caution, maybe get some track position. We've seen Jacob Musial do that same exact strategy a couple times this year and ended up with the top 10 out of one of those races, Dean. So it's not a bad strategy when you start in the back to try to stretch this thing out and see where you kind of land out with some strategy.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I'd say is it's been so unfortunate for him. We have never seen him get that timely caution, where he's the last guy out there. Like right now, a caution would be gold for Musial. It just seems to never happen for him.
Yeah, I think it happened one time, Dean, this year, back when we were at Daytona, which is a plate track, obviously, but still, he was somebody that started in the back and just kind of ended up getting there. Had an opportunity at Atlanta. The caution didn't come out. It came out 2 laps after he pitted. That's kind of been his luck this year. But right now, Dean, he's coming on pit road.
All right, so Musial relinquishes the lead. Reiner goes by. There's Jackson coming around to the start-finish line. Wrecker making his move. And then you get Bruce along with Person. So Person speeding his way through traffic here has made his way back to 5th already. He's absolutely flying around the track.
We had 3 penalties on pit road, Dean. That would be Nick Baris, Eric Whiting, and Adam Kulikowski, all pit road speeding penalties. So they all lost an additional lap. Michael Ottaviani, Dean, he had to come back in. So he had a pit exit violation. So he had to come back in, do a stop and go in that number 53. So he dropped out of the top 10 down to 23rd. Everybody else, though, Dean, very good getting on off pit road. And the best of that, I said, it looked a little bit rough getting on pit road, but I guess it wasn't. It was Darren Bruce getting the best pit lane time.
Yeah, I think what you seen was him pushing so hard. It just looked a little reckless more than it was bad. But I want to highlight a couple of our rookies out here. Craig Martin in the 75 machine, currently in 24th. You got Linger. He is in 26th right now. You got Robert LaPrime, currently in 27th. Herb Ashley down in 31st. So these guys, doing okay. We're looking through the field here, trying to find anybody else. And one thing I got to say about rookies coming into the league is, boy, oh boy, it takes a minute here when you come to RGR, doesn't it, Jared?
Yeah, it does. It's a competitive field, and it's really hard to find, the spot that you're in, and really, we try to highlight every driver in every race, and we try our best. It's hard to do, but one thing I will say is if we're not talking about you, that's not a bad thing. It means you're keeping your nose down and you're running a clean race, and that's always what we like to see.
Absolutely correct. You come into a new league and you want to make some friends out there and just get your bearings, and yeah, like you said, if we're not calling your name, that's a great thing. Person just got by record, so Person continuing to be the fastest guy on the track, a 31.37 to Reiner's 31.70. So Person is flying. I'm not sure if he'll have any car left here soon, but he is knocking that time down, now down to close to 3 seconds to Bryce Reiner.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a guy I missed was Jacob Musial. His pit lane time was a little bit later because when he pitted, he got a penalty as well. So he is a lap down, trying to stay 1 lap down as he moves up to the high side. And he's going to go ahead and relinquish that lap, so put Musial 2 laps down from leading the race. So a tough break for Jacob there.
That is a tough break. So important out there to have good pit stops, Jared.
Absolutely, and Scott Olson out there in the chat said he could never pit effectively. It was pretty much the end of my race when I pitted. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I can't count how many races I've thrown away on pit road, Jared. It continues to be a problem for me.
Yeah, and he was also asking about where is Wild Thing Brian Helm, and Brian, I think, was up in the top 10 at one point, but he has dropped back to 19th position. I actually just put in 19th, so I missed that. So yeah, it looks like Helm not having the race he's looking for tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened to Helm, why he dropped this much, but he's definitely dropping down 12 spots on the night.
He was one of our later pit stop people, so he does have a little bit fresher tires, so he is going to work his way through the field. But yes, he is a little bit down in the order currently. But Dean, looking at how this pit stop, everything's kind of cycled out right now. The undercut really working out for Greg Ratliff. He was one of our first pitters. He pitted on 41, and remember, he was running in 4th position. He's made his way to 2nd position. As you see Bernard Person get around him
right now.
He just got around him.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a push, is it not, Jared? I mean, now he's
I
back
think
and
you're right.
forth.
I think you're exactly right. So
you know how I like to contradict what you say, Jared.
Well, I was looking at the time. I was looking more at the table more than I was the actual racetrack, and it looked like that it was working out for Ratliff, but it looks like all the undercut guys are starting to drop back. I mean, A. Bear back to 9th. Whitford in 13th. They were all the early pitters. Klaus Williams was the earliest pitter, pitted on 31. He's in 16th, but I think he's going to be up against it on strategy, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's just not working out so far for them. And we'll see how it all goes. Person now in 2nd. Reiner leading this. It's 2.4 seconds is the lead. Person still about 0.2 faster, but that is waning. It's starting to go away, so pit stops are going to be around lap 90-ish, so he's got a ways to go here yet.
Yeah, he does, and I think that's the advantage of a really long race like this, right? Where I race mostly is B Open, which is a 90-lap race around here, so you're pitting at like 55 almost every time. But I did find out this week, Dean, and I've been, building some new stuff, some setup stuff-wise, and testing some stuff out. Hasn't gone particularly well, but that's why I test things out in races. And I'll tell you what, I did an undercut, pitted on lap 46, and I ended up finishing way better than I was running. I think I was running 13th before the pit stop. So sometimes you get lucky with the undercut too.
Yeah, I mean. The undercut, I know another guy in the booth, Will Bosco, he loves the undercut, you love the overcut. They both have their advantages. There's nothing right or wrong. excuse me, I would say it could be a psychological thing, Jared. I mean, some guys are built for the undercut. They can get out there and not abuse their stuff early, work through the run, and other guys are made for the overcut. You know, it's kind of whatever suits your personality.
Yeah, and I think you'll say, and I will agree with you, is that I'm probably aggressive.
Well, you were in the past. I mean, I certainly wouldn't judge you going back 4 years, Jared, when we used to race a lot. I've raced you since, and you're one tough customer, so I'm sure you've learned quite a bit since those days. But yeah, back in the day, the type of racer that you were, you know, that is something. I mean, the undercut was just no good.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to go burn your stuff up, and we'd be happy to reel you in about 20 laps, right?
Absolutely. Been there. You know, you look at these lap times too, Dean. I mean, right now, Reiner at a 32.265, Person at a 32.252. So Reiner, not the ultra undercut, but still undercut by, did undercut Bernard Person. The lap times are starting to find the flat spot, Dean, for both these drivers.
Yeah, they're not going to just find a flat spot. They're going to reverse. I just have such faith in Reiner's ability, especially that he knows his situation. He's been milking these tires this whole run. So these last, 10 to 15 laps of this run, I think they're not only going to level out, you're going to see Reiner become the faster driver, and this thing perhaps open up to back up to 3-second lead. But you never know. Person does have 4-lap fresher tires, Jared.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another guy that's actually faster than both of them is Adam Recker. 32.17 that last lap. So Recker is starting to reel in both of these guys. Will he get there before the pit stops start? I don't know, but he is definitely fast on the track right now.
I mean, Recker is probably, one of my favorite drivers at this point for the way he runs that machine. He's always been good, but he seems like a guy who's learning, right? I mean, any of us, Jared, once you stop learning, you stop going forward.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I've been experimenting with some different stuff on the B car this week, and it hasn't gone great sometimes, and sometimes it's been good.
Well, you got to throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the beauty of what open set racing is you'll tinker with the car. You're out on the track so much, you're bound to find something that you didn't know it would exist. I mean, I always tell my hot lap stories about Michigan. Did it for about 3 hours with someone, and we just kept getting faster and faster, Jared, and at some point I found some little magic spot on the track, that would make the car turn this or that. You can't find that. It's got to be almost by accident. It's from turning hundreds and hundreds of laps.
It absolutely is, and fixed up racing, it's even more difficult to find that advantage. But right now, you look at the lap times, the top three have flattened out to each other at this point. Jason Ratliff, the fastest driver on the track, he's about a tenth quicker than our race leaders. He was one of the last guys to pit in this group, so no surprise there.
How about Jason? Good race for him. He just went by Jason Jackson as they resumed the Jason battle. I mean, can you picture two Jasons fighting? I mean, Friday the 13th style?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly where my mind went.
I think I want to see that movie, Jared.
Jason versus Jason. There you go. I think the way Hollywood is now, Dina, with all the remakes and weird offshoots, I think they'll probably take you up on that.
Well, they might be gay if they make it today, so I don't know if I want to see that.
Jeez. Yeah, you might be right, actually.
I don't want to give them any ideas. Oh, my God. Back to racing. Bear and Kane side by side here. Good little battle developing for 9th position.
And you look, Jason Ratliff, this is actually his first Sunday night race of the year. Usually, I think he races more on the Truck Series or the Gen 6 Series, and he does make a lot of appearances in this series, but he's not a full-timer by any means.
No, and Jason, he's got speed. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he's probably, if I had to take a guess, I would call him the most improved driver year over year. And I don't mean season over season. I mean year over year. That he's always been quick, but he's also learned to be quick and not kill his stuff. So very great driving from the 55. He's currently in 5th. Jason Jackson, you know, he's making points runs in both leagues right now, Jared. He's been very, very impressive. He might be in a position to get up here and challenge for this championship. I think he might be in the lead in the other one. So the 86 machine, he's been solid.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's been solid the last 3 weeks. Kind of been in a hole because of Daytona. Did not have a great finish there, but only 27 points out of the championship lead here. We'll see how that all sorts out with the provisionals and everything like that as we head into next week. But I tell you what, man, this is going to be a crazy championship. We're already 4 races in. This is the 5th race, and I think we're doing 19. Is that correct? So I mean, this is upside down already.
Yeah, this is going to be a great championship battle. I mean, I have no idea who's the front runner at this point, this stage, and that's the way you like it. There could be 10 drivers still in this thing. It's just phenomenal to see. There's the Bulldog, another tough customer. Him and Torgensen are fighting. Torgensen up 11 spots on the night, and here he is working on the Bulldog right now. So Torgensen is someone.
Oh, hey, Bear! Hey, Bear got apologies, right in front of these guys, in front of Edward Kane. Bear was looking at the pit wall. He got so loose, I think there was smoke coming off that car.
Wow, all right. So James A. Bear is still in a big battle with Edward Kane. Claus Williams hits pit road.
The Claus is not going to pit again. That should put him to the end of the race. I would think he wouldn't pit again anyway.
Yeah, it's a good deal of a short pit there from him as we go back to Torgensen, getting back around the 2 of the Bulldog. Bulldog a little loose, takes advantage of that looseness, cuts underneath. So he's going to resume the battle here. No easy pass, but Torgensen, a great run on the high side. He looked a little loose up there. Looked like he was going to complete it, but the car is a little shaky. You know, I was just touching on Troy because we knew Troy, or know Troy, I should say. Hell of a race car driver. Qualified, in 23rd spot? That's tough business, Jared.
Yeah, he's, I think, tied for a biggest mover with Tom Ashley.
Yeah,
he's also 12 positions.
Yeah, let's highlight Tom here. Great run by Tom tonight. My goodness, up 12 spots into 21st, rocking that U.S. Air Force, absoluting as we speak, and good run for the 62 machine.
Yeah, just ahead of him, Baron Labosco back there in the Kel Yarbrough throwback, and then Rachel Hunt in front of Baron there. So a lot of familiar faces to the Wind Tunnel family. I mean, it is, we feel like we've been covering these people all year as Todd Gilly hits pit road from 17.
Yeah, those are some big names you just rattled off. Labosco, Hunt, Gilly, Sheffield coming in. I mean, these are names. Unbelievably, they're all back in around 20th position here. So as this race goes on, we've seen Adam Recker has now gotten by Bernard Persson. Recker has been solid all night long, but it's Reiner out front, and late in this run, he is now starting to extend just a little bit. Persson fading just a little bit as pit road and is open for business at this point.
You know, when you talk about open server racing, Dean, you talk about hundredths or tenths making a difference, or hundredths making a difference. When you get to fix that, it comes down to thousandths and hundredths, and that's the difference. I mean, you look at these lap times. This time around, Recker was actually 2 tenths quicker than Reiner, but it had been a little bit stagnant for Recker, trying to catch Reiner up. But I think right now, as you see somebody pitting right in front of the leaders, that's not sure who that was, a yellow car, and then you also have Rachel Hunt coming in.
And Craig Martin, newcomer, first race out here, I do believe. You have Hunt right in front, Otto Viani coming in behind. So pit stops are commencing, And Reiner, I don't know when he's going to come in. Here comes A-Bear, lighten up the tires a little bit.
Yeah, might as well use all the rest of the rubber off of it, Dean, I guess.
Wrecker still faster than Reiner. So Adam Wrecker really looking good here tonight. He needs something special on pit road, Jared. How important is it?
It's going to be huge. And I think personally you got to go for the overcut. You got to go for the overcut if you're Adam Wrecker. Stay out a couple laps, maybe 3 laps longer than Reiner, and then chase him down.
So we see Greg Ratliff, Darren Bruce, Beller all on pit road. A-Bear and Labosco also hit pit road. Still waiting for the top guys to come in. Nobody coming in right now.
These guys it's all going to cycle around, and I think this is going to be a really interesting finish because of how everything's going to cycle here.
Here comes Edward Kane. So Kane has been very good. Torgensen comes in right behind him, closes up a little bit, so those two in pretty strong. Reiner still out here logging laps. That time by a 32.79. Wrecker a 32.57. So Wrecker continuing to run down our race leader.
And keep in mind, Wrecker has yet to win in the Sunday night series ever in his career. He finished 3rd in points last year, did not have any wins, but and with Leal being out, Dean, unless he has a really bad race, I think no matter what, just about he'll be the point leader coming out of here tonight. Him or Eric Beller, one of the two, pretty much in line to get that spot. So huge night, but can Wrecker get the goose egg off as Bernard Person flying into pit road?
All right, Person in there shaking and rattling that machine underneath the cone. Good stop here on lap 88 of 125. Reiner, Wrecker, and Jason Ratliff, your top 3 right now. Reiner looking to stay out there a little bit longer this run. He didn't like the undercut last time, so he'll hang out. Here comes Wrecker.
Wrecker's coming in. Wrecker's in. Wrecker's in pit road.
Stop there. Very nice from the 11. If he holds on, he does.
Good stop, though.
Helm is in. Brantley is in. So now Reiner out here trying to work through lap traffic. He's getting bogged down here. He's got cars high, cars low, nowhere to go for the 14. This is a bit of a tragedy, and here comes Sheffield with fresh rubber. This is going to further complicate the situation.
This is what always can get you. Is it's not when you pit, it's what you get held up by. You can get held up by being on fresh tires, trying to pass old tires. You can get held up like this by staying out, and you've got fresh tires trying to get by. You're trying to lap guys. I mean, it is tough, man. And Reiner right now, I think he's protecting that inside line, making Sheffield go to the outside because I think he's heading to pit road because he's giving up some time right there on the front end. He is coming in.
Yeah, I think exactly for those reasons. He said, I got to get out of this mess. Let me out of here. He hits pit road. Newton and Whitford also came in just before him. Jason Ratliff, now your new race leader.
Jason takes over, and I think his play, Dean, is to stay out as long as you can and try to make this thing work toward the end of the race for you.
Jason Spear comes in.
Well, he hit the wall. Ratliff in the wall off turn 2, so I think that play, he might be out of that play now.
Here comes Tom Ashley onto pit road. Looks like a good stop by him.
Adam Wrecker's coming back in, Dean.
Oh,
Adam
no,
Wrecker has a penalty. Adam Wrecker has an unsafe exit penalty. I flashed up on my my Caps app here. So tough break for Adam Wrecker, Dean.
Tough break does not sum it up. That is unbelievable. So Wrecker, who looked like he might be the best car here tonight, could not pass the test, Jared. It come down to pit road. A penalty will dearly cost him. We've got not a race lead, but a race for second here. It will be the lead because Jason Ratliff just come on pit road and he's spinning. The 55 spins and loops it right at the entrance. Oh, Nelly. All kinds of problems out here. As Person and Reiner slugging it out. Reiner not letting him by this time.
I think, Dean, Adam Recker may have compounded his penalty. I think he didn't have anything unchecked, and he is retired. He has pulled the car, or no, he is still on pit road, but he disappeared for a second. I think he is minute 7, Dean. So I don't know. He got a penalty for sure, but I think he forgot to uncheck everything, and that, as you know, gives you a longer penalty.
Yeah, it's tragedy here on pit road. That is the story here tonight. But we got Reiner in Person, and now the cat and mouse game. Reiner fought hard here to hold off Person. Now is Person backing off? I don't know. Let's check our pit laps for these guys. Person was in 3 laps earlier, so this is advantage Reiner like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, Person fought. He tried to stay ahead of Reiner there as much as he could. He tried to catch him and pass him, but it wasn't going to happen.
So Reiner now a free track basically. I mean, Recker looked like possibly the main challenger. Person looked really good. You know, others have kind of fallen off, but now third place, Jason Jackson. Greg Ratliff in 4th. Bruce has moved up into the top 5. Torgensen up 17 spots, now in 6th. He's being hounded by James A. Bear. Beller's right there. Kane has moved up 10 into 9th, and then it's the Bulldog in 10th.
Yeah, I think this is Reiner's race to lose at this point. I mean, the tire advantage, and he's got the lap advantage, the traffic advantage, everything like that. So right now, I think it's going to be a battle for that last podium position. Can Jason Jackson hold off Greg Ratliff and Darren Bruce, who's kind of snuck his way? We haven't talked a lot about Darren here tonight, but he has snuck his way into the top 5. Torgerson, as you said, as well in 6th. A. Bear 7th. Beller, Kane, and Newton, your top 10. And you look at those penalties, Dean. Kulikowski had a penalty. We talked about Recker with his penalty, and then Jason Ratliff spun, so he also got a penalty because I think he went around the cone as well.
Yeah, the pit road is so tough. When you get a hot right rear tire, there's something. As soon as you get to that start-finish line, and you're the entrance to pit road, and you're trying to get that heaviest part of the braking, that's where you'll lose the car, and you'll see a lot of guys do that. Right now, looking in on A. Bear, he is fighting hard with Beller still rocking the high side. Right behind him, Edward Kane, man. I said something about most improved driver for, I think, Jason Ratliff. Kane, I mean, he wants to throw his hat in that ring. Man, has he been good this season.
Yeah, I think that's an understatement, Dean. I mean, he could come out of here with Beller in front of him. I think that right now it's basically Beller is going to be our point leader unofficially coming out of this race here tonight. But, Dean, you think about where Edward Kane was last year, right? I mean, this is a guy came on late in the year, so we didn't have a lot of races under his belt, but only had about 3 top 10 finishes. But this year has been really good. And 3rd at Daytona, 8th at Richmond, 12th at Atlanta, looking for a top 10 tonight.
Yeah, and he's been at times challenging for race leads and stuff. I mean, Kane has been an unbelievable improvement, and it could be perception versus reality. I don't know, but the 21 looks like a much improved driver to me. He's in a heavy battle with A. Bear and Beller. These are 2 tough guys to pass, Jared. Beller rocks the high side. A. Bear races every lap like it's his last. I mean, this is no easy task for Kane here. No,
it's not. And I think that goes to show how much he has improved as the year has gone on. And, good top 10 run. That's what gets you a good finish in the standings at the end of the year.
Really does. And you see Beller way up the track, a little bit loose. A. Bear goes through. Kane now underneath of Beller.
And that could be battle for the points lead, the de facto one. Now that Recker has put himself out of that contention here tonight.
I mean, how much do you love this points competition? We'll have to update to make those official standings for next week because we keep them unofficial and keep them kind of loose there for the first few races. But the way this thing is heating up, I think we better tidy up those standings a bit, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming into tonight, Leal had a 11-point lead over Wrecker, 14 over Beller and Ratliff, 21 over Kane and Ripka, Kulikowski at 25, Jackson at 27, Helm at 32, and Bryce Reiner at 33. So Leal, like I said, don't know how many provisional points they give out or anything like that, but I would venture to say that Beller, even with 3 or 4 points, I think Beller would gain enough points to be the point leader coming out here tonight if he can just hold on to 9th place.
All right, so Beller, Beller's fought hard, and for the line he's running, he's probably done better with it than you predicted, Jared. I mean, he seems to have a handle on it. I mean, yeah, I don't think that overall this track is really suiting him, but he's making the best out of the situation here.
Yeah, 100%. I give him full credit. I thought that car would be wrecking loose and just not really driving well. I mean, he was planting the car, Dean, on the wall. I mean, planting the car on the wall. We're not talking about running sort of high. He was on the wall. And I'm like, that car is going to be so loose at the end of the run. But, if you manage your throttle and you operate the car the way it needs to be, it is makes it really, really impressive the way he ran this race tonight.
All right, back up front. Reiner walking away here. He's got a 3-second lead. The 14, tough to beat on every night, impossible here tonight. Person is in second, had a hell of a run. He's gone up front. He's done everything he could here tonight. And, back from his injuries and whatnot, I'm sure he's not 100%. I would bet to say he is physically struggling at this point. Greg Ratliff in third, the big dog, out here in the 5 car, up 5 spots into third. Jason Jackson up into 4th, where he seems to find himself every race. Somehow, some way, the 86 ends up here, and there goes Bruce. Or no, that was not Bruce. That was Wrecker, I believe, coming underneath them after his penalty. Bruce in 5th behind him, and Bruce with a nice recovery from perhaps a poor starting position for him.
Yeah, he started 11th, and really, good run for Darren. Got a victory earlier this year, and that's something he likes to do is chalk up those victories. But he's in a comfortable position. I think he's going to probably battle Jason Jackson for that 4th position, but he's got a 7-second lead on Troy Torgerson back a little bit further than that, so no real pressure behind him.
Now Troy we look in on. He's our big mover on the night. 17 spots for the newcomer. Looking good out here. He's got Blue Angels in the car. I mean, I'll hold my joke because I don't want to be disrespectful to the Blue Angels, Jared.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I'll be completely honest. So, yeah.
Well, Blue Angels, I believe, is a flight crew for your shows, much like we have up here in Canada. The
yeah. You're right. That makes sense.
Or it could be a fart joke, but I'm not going to go there, dude.
Yeah, I totally had drew a blank there for a second, but I do remember that now. So, but yeah, good run for Troy. And you look at some of these other guys. Jason Spear knocking on the door of a top 10. He's up 14 positions, challenging for our big mover of the race as well. Oh, behind him, my goodness, who was that? Was that Adam Newton that almost wrecked? Man, Adam Newton was so loose there, Dean. He does get passed by Tony Ratliff. I could be off. Yeah, that is Tony Ratliff that just went by him, but Newton was absolutely wrecking off the corner.
Yeah, and I mean, you brought up Spear. Let's talk about Spear and Brantley here, because they haven't got a whole lot of airtime. I mean, up 14 spots for the 83. That's a heck of a run, Jared.
Yeah, and Jason hasn't had, I think, the race. He's raced every race this year, and he's been pretty well out of the races. He got wrecked at Daytona, struggled home to a 22nd, got wrecked when Klaus Williams had that mechanical the computer screen froze up or went off or something, and unfortunately just landed right in Jason Spears' dash, and that ended his race. Finished dead last in that race. Had a decent race at Richmond. Had a top 10 going at Phoenix, but finished 11th. He has yet to finish in the top 10 this year, Dean. He is looking for just some momentum to get the season going, and he's in it now.
He's had some horrible luck. Jason suffered through that in the past, seemed to get rid of it. It was back for a few races. Now he's back up 15 as he just went by Whitford. Behind them, Jason Brantley up 10 spots. What a night. I mean, the 3 is another guy who's just steadily getting better and better. He's in 12th. Then you look a little further back. I want to highlight this rookie here, the 75 of Craig Martin. His initial race here this evening, he's up 13 spots right in front of it. Oh, and he's loose. He's losing it as we highlight him there. He holds on to it, battling with Sheffield. Sheffield will go through, but a good save from Martin there.
Yeah, that could have been really bad, but great job by Craig Martin right there battling for that 18th position. But that's a solid night. You didn't qualify. You took whatever spot the game would give you there. 31st is where it puts you, and you're just trying to make laps, try to get to know people, how they race. And he's loose again off the corner. That car the right rear is giving up on him.
Yeah, it's evil at this point, but he's making do with it. There's Kulikowski behind him. Kulikowski not having a good night.
2 penalties pitting for Kulikowski, I believe. I mean, very long pit lane times at least that would indicate that. Also, he's still up 10 spots. He started dead last year, or one of the last positions. I think we had 40, but registered as 38th. But Kulikowski just 3 laps down, trying to make some laps and try to finish the race off strong.
Let's get a little close-up of the 14 out here leading. Bryce Reiner, got that Team Conti car. Beautiful paint job. The 14 untouchable here late in the race. He'll cruise to victory if he can keep it on the track. Looks like Person solidly in second position, rocking the old school Spear Motorsports car there. Nice to see. And then Greg Ratliff having a nice night. Top 3 for Greg. I think he'd be happy with that. He's had his ups and downs here recently. This is a change in the right direction, and we got a battle here for 4th, Jared, as way up the track goes Bruce.
Darren Bruce trying to make something happen there on Jason Jackson. Jackson could have closed that door, but he didn't, because he sees the 23 car of Linger, uses him as a pick here.
Yeah, this is a bad timing for the 15. Nowhere to go. Behind them, it looks like fresh tires coming. The 15 trapped. He'll put Linger in the middle. Oh boy. And Bruce into the wall a little bit as he's trying to figure it out. Otto Viani coming underneath them. I mean, bad timing for Bruce.
Oh my goodness. That is awful timing. He couldn't, I think he was conservative there, which I respect. I mean, he could have thrown it in on the outside of Linger, I think, or in the middle, but he decided against it. That might cost him a chance at 4th position.
Yeah, it definitely cost him huge. You can see from almost making the pass to 10, 20 car lengths behind, he'll have to regroup and see what he can do. We look in on Kane, Hebert, and Torgensen. These 3 all in a battle. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th place.
And that's really besides that top battle for 4th, which might reconvene, this is really our battle on the track. I mean, we got 3 drivers battling for this 6th position. Kane is now in 6th as he moves underneath Hebert. And then you have Torgerson in this group as well. Beller a little bit further back, but looks like lap time wise might be sliding out of this battle and not really having an opportunity.
I just want to highlight as we ride on board with Troy Torgensen here, seeing the blue sky here, Jared, is refreshing. We've had a lot of cloudy weather lately, not saying in the league, but on iRacing in general. And it's nice to see a sunny day, isn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised when I got the weather that it was going to be clear this week at Vegas. And man, it has been great to see actual weather on the surface besides clouds.
Absolutely.
Especially after doing a Bathurst 12-hour race in, I don't know, let's say 5 hours of rain.
Good times. Spring is upon us, folks. You know, get the barbecues out, get the golf clubs out, of course, get the race cars out, most importantly.
Yeah, I mean, racing going to start up at the local level and pretty much the entire United States here in a few weeks. And, you know, obviously NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar are all back racing right now. And I think the old CASCAR has got to be starting up soon, Dean, probably into April.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually a little bit behind, but somewhere in that area should be starting up. As we look in on Derek Whitford, haven't highlighted him much. Quiet night for Derek, but he has picked up 4 spots in 12th. Solid run by the 42.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Derek kind of the kind of night I think he needed. He's had some bad luck this year so far. And I think he's kind of probably going to be happy to just kind of get out of this racetrack without being caught up in a wreck.
Oh, and he hits the wall, and behind him, Brantley hits the wall. So synchronized wall hitting, apparently that's an event here. Reiner, not too far behind him, Jared.
Yeah, Reiner is putting guys down a lap. I mean, 14 drivers on the lead lap. And like you said, I mean, he will catch these 2 guys, I think, by the end of this race. He might not be able to make a pass on them, or try to, but he will get to them, I think.
All right, so Bryce Reiner coming down to 2 to go. The battle on the track still Kane, Hebert, and Torgensen, but they're not really battling. They're pretty spaced out, so we don't have a whole lot. Whitford and Brantley fighting a little bit.
Bruce has caught back up to Jason Jackson, and he is wicked loose out of the corner, but he is trying to get there, Dean. The other battle is actually Jason Spear has caught Eric Beller as well, so I don't know if Spear will be able to make a move here, but we got a couple battles that could heat up at the end, but they're running out of time.
And they are indeed. We'll look in on Bruce here and give him one more corner, see what he can do to get up to Jason Jackson here. Battle for 4th place. Jackson on the bottom, Bruce trying to get ahead of steam going, middle of the track. He will. He's got a bit of a run here.
Yeah, he's just a little bit, in my opinion, far back, but he might be able to make it happen. As I'll keep an eye on that battle as Bryce Reiner steaming off down the back straightaway. Out of turn 4, I mean.
Bryce Reiner gonna come home and take victory here in the Las Vegas 200. A dominating performance. Bernard Persson off of 4. He will come home 2nd. Great drive by him. The 5 of Greg Ratliff will be in 3rd. It's Jason Jackson 4th, holding off Bruce, who will finish in 5th. Then Edward Kane, he'll come home 6th with Hebert, Torgensen 7th and 8th. Beller in 9th, and Spear almost losing it there at the line. He'll come home in 10th. Beller might take the points lead. Reiner takes the night, though. What a drive. Another great drive by Bryce Reiner.
Yeah, our first repeat winner of the year. It looked like maybe Adam Rechter might be the guy to make it 5 for 5, but pit road speeding penalty. But Reiner, the guy to beat here tonight. And shout out, look at Bernard Persson making his debut this year. Has had a lot of issues, but he fought a tough race and finished 2nd. And Greg Ratliff, Dean, picked up his first top 5 of the year, so some really good results by many drivers here tonight.
Yeah, there was, and it's a great series. The points are really going to heat up as you see Reiner just throwing that car around everywhere. Let's look in on those results and see where everybody finished. We kind of went through the top 10. Tony Ratliff, Whitford, Brantley, Newton, and Helm, your top 15. Then it was Gilly, Labosco, Craig Martin. You got Hunt, Otto Viani, Sheffield with a strange Sheffield night, usually up near the front. Tom Ashley, a great night, even though it's 22nd. Solid run by Tom here tonight, and Wrecker. Oh, Adam Wrecker, just such a shame, Jared. I mean, he was so good here tonight.
Yeah, and I think as a driver, I think you look back at those races where you think you might have had an opportunity to have a really good run at the very minimum, maybe sneak a win. And you look back at these races, and we've all had these races, right, where we make a mistake or get caught up in something, and it sucks. But this is a great learning experience.
Certainly is, and that's I've took a lot of these learning experiences, Jared. I would like to win one instead
Oh,
of
okay.
just
Well, I'll let him know.
instead of just learning all the time. Right now, though, let's take a short commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get some race interviews in. All right, a little look at the new Portland Speedway, I guess. What is Portland's track's name, Jared?
Portland International Raceway, Dean. It's one of my favorite road courses. I love Portland. The Truck Series used to race back there in the 90s, and some of the most fun races I ever watched. Obviously, IndyCar known for going there for many, many years at this point, and then Xfinity there nowadays too. So love that Portland's in the game. One of the few tracks, Dean, that's owned by a public entity. They're owned by the Portland Parks Association. In case you were curious.
Well, I am, and I love the knowledge, and that's why we go to you, Jared. A wealth of knowledge. Love hearing about it, and the fact that you like it means it'd probably be an entertaining track to drive. I might actually try it one of these days. But imagine after getting a GT3 car or something, though, Jared.
I don't know. I mean, the Truck Series ran here for 5 years, so I think it's a fun track in the NASCAR stuff as well.
All right. So we look in on our unofficial. I want to stress that these are unofficial standings. Looks like Bellard in our points have squeaked into the lead. Tony Ratliff second, Edward Kane into third. You got Jason Jackson fourth. Wrecker falls 4 spots into fifth. He had that point lead momentarily. Helm, Bruce, Newton, Kulikowski, and Hunt, your top 10. I mean, Jared, this thing is up for grabs.
Yeah, I mean that's what Daytona, with the large fields. I mean, we've had large fields, Dean, and you make a bad mistake, have a bad race, you're going to finish in the 20s, the 30s, and you're seeing these guys start to kind of come forward. I think everything's going to shake out. Like I said, we don't know where the provisionals are going to shake out for Leal and Ripko, how many points those are. It could be just 1 point for all we know. It could be 5 or something like that, but either way, it's going to be a tight battle all the way through. And Dean, it would be crazy to see how this thing turns out. But we got a long way to go. 14 races still left.
Man, we do. We've got a long way to go, but it looks like it's going to be a fight to the death in the points. And right now, though, we turn our attention to the big dog, number 5, Greg Ratliff, finishing in third place here tonight. Congratulations, Greg.
Hey, thanks, Dean. I think we had an early Christmas tonight, didn't we?
Well, I mean, it's good to hear your voice, Greg. We love seeing you up here in the top 3. And, this track, maybe this car kind of felt a little like the old days or whatever, a little bit loose condition out here. Tell us a little bit about your run.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely loose after, especially you hit that round 20 lap mark. It was really a handful getting off turn 4. and it's just like, hang on, man. And it was really hard to judge too how hard to go on the beginning of the run and try to hold positions, but it's a balancing act.
Tell me a little bit about qualifying. You qualify in eighth tonight, Greg. I know you got qualifying speed. We do it once in a while between me and you, even. And what was the key to qualifying here tonight? The difference between maybe a top three and say eighth where you were, or even further back, like 20th, 25th. Was it just keeping that thing under you?
I think so. I was just one little slip when you're going for a pole, and one tiny little slip will take you from maybe fifth all the way back to 24th, where I was at Phoenix. That's what happened to me there. So the track was slick, so I probably just underdrove it a little bit, but I'd rather be in eighth than in 25th or 30th or 40th.
Yeah, I can feel you there. I often will back them down a little bit for safety. I'd rather be in the top 10 than back there for sure. Greg, the other key here tonight, obviously, green flag stops. Not only the stop itself, but choosing when to pit. Maybe long pit seemed to be preferable here tonight. But tell us a little bit first about getting on to pit road there. Seen a lot of guys swinging it out wide, right? Trying to get a little extra speed there. Tell us a little bit about that particular thing, and then the transition to where you getting under the cone, where we've seen a few guys get loose.
Oh yeah, pit road entry is dicey here at this place. It's kind of a rough transition there, anyway. And you know, I got in a little bit hot on that first one, and I got it woed down in the forgiveness zone there. I was over the speed, I know, when I crossed the line, but I was on the brakes, so I got lucky there probably. And then, but yeah, I mean, pit road. This is one of the harder pit road entries, I think.
I don't think I've ever heard that. Is that an official term, Greg? The forgiveness zone there?
Well, I don't know what the official term is. It just come off the top of my head.
I
I
like
know
it.
there's a little short area there. I don't know where the timing line starts, but I was definitely over speed, so there has to be a little window there where you can
Certainly.
get it down.
Well, you did an awesome job, man. Tell us a little bit about the race. Where were the battles here tonight? Was it mostly just pit road, or did you have some tough battles out on the track?
Oh man, my battles were Jason Jackson and Darren Bruce were right there within striking distance. Jason Ratliff, he was coming, and he did the overcut, and without that penalty, I feel like he would have probably finished ahead of me too. But yeah, mostly I was driving for a fifth place finish. Um, there for most of the race until that second round of pit stops. But awesome job by everybody. I just have to say that right now.
Well, let me
Keeping it
interrupt
clean.
you a minute here, Greg, because I wanted to touch on that very thing where you were going, I believe. The league, right? We bring in newcomer Craig Martin here. He finishes up 13 spots. Looked like Tom Ashley made some improvements tonight. And Torgensen was up 15 spots. I mean, you're putting 40 cars out here and you're going green. How exciting is that for you?
I'll tell you, man, it's great. I can, Todd does an awesome job. He gives a little talk, and everybody's here. We got a lot of good, mature drivers here that really want the green flag racing, and yeah, it's awesome. And you have 40 cars, and everybody can keep it off each other. And this was a loose track too. It's really crazy how sometimes we get on the more difficult tracks, and it's like people will just hold it together. And we've had a lot of green flag racing like that.
Been saying it for years, Greg. The tight tracks, the cars where the cars stick, that's where the cautions come. These loose, crazy races, there's no cautions. It's a generalization, but it's the exact opposite of what you feel in the car where the cautions come from. But the league doing a great job. It was entertaining as hell. And of course, you, Greg, great to see you back up here on the podium, third place. Congrats, man. Awesome finish. we'll turn it over to you. You thank anybody you would like to thank.
Thank you guys, Dean, for the good job broadcasting for us. And, we've been together for a while now. It's been working out great. And I'd like to thank the Live Church. They're sponsoring us tonight. And then Jason Brantley with his East Coast web printing. And then, mostly just I'd like to thank all the drivers here, for doing what they do, making it, the league is nothing without the drivers, and they show up and week in, week out, and it's really just got stronger, seems like, since the beginning of the year. And we've just, even the last few people we brought in, just been really good guys, and a lot of respect. They just want to, like I say, everybody has a desire just to have the green flag racing, and it's just been awesome.
Man, it really has. Jared, that is Greg Ratliff. Third place finish here this evening.
Yeah, great run for Greg, getting his first top 5 of the year. But Dean, I'm sitting down here with Bernard Person, who made his debut on the year and came home second place. Bernie, congratulations on an excellent run.
Thank you, Jared. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, you as well, man. I mean, I know you've been battling a lot of stuff, and how was it out there, getting back out there and leading those laps early on in this race, man?
It felt really good. Track was just the way I like it, a little loose.
Yeah, and it seemed like as the race kind of came around, it looked like you made a decision to pit a little bit earlier than Reiner. Was that kind of the difference in the race here tonight? I mean, I know you were battling with Wrecker a little bit, but it seemed like it was really you, Reiner, and Wrecker, the class of the field most of the night.
Yeah, well, I figured that last stop I was going to change my fuel, but somehow from me pitting and I forgot to do it and wasn't able to. When he came out, as soon as he passed me, I was just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to stay up with him.
Well, you did a good job. I mean, for sure. I mean, it was so exciting to watch you work your way through that lap traffic. It seemed like, really you and Wrecker were kind of going edge to edge on that first run. Reiner seemed to kind of get around you. You guys ran side by side for several laps. Talk about the competition level in this league, Bernie. I mean, this has got to be one of the toughest leagues you've raced in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anybody can win from, first all the way back to 20th. Yeah, I figured, staying out front or getting that league would help the car a lot more. Track position is key here. And staying out front, fresh air on that nose is good.
Well, you did a good job tonight, Bernie. It was great to see you back out, man. And it looked like a vintage performance for you. Did you feel comfortable in the car? Did you feel like you had a shot this thing from the get-go?
I was just going to let, cards fall the way they fell. And, I just had fun out there. That's really all I was worrying about, getting back out there.
Well, it was great to see you, man, and great to see you have a great run. I know a lot of people rooting you on there. But man, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, let you have the last word on your race here tonight, and congratulations on that second place.
Thanks, Jared. I want to congratulate Randy for winning the class of the field tonight. Always want to thank you guys for always putting on a good show. It's always great going back and watching the race and seeing what you could have done differently. You guys do really well with your broadcast there. My teammates, Spears Motorsports, and I also want to throw a shout out there to my friend Nick. He always helps me out a lot. And my kids.
Well, there you go. Dean, that was Bernard Person with a second place finish here tonight.
All right, well, that brings us to Batman Bryce Reiner back in victory lane, dominating performance. Congratulations, Bryce.
Thank you. I hope it was a good show for y'all up in the booth, but proud to bring home a W.
Well, you brought home a W. You did your thing the way you do it, right? You let person by, so to speak, or he drove by, and you chase him down late in the run, got by him and all that. But there's another guy lurking around. Adam Wrecker seemed to have great pace late in the runs, and he perhaps was going to challenge you, but unfortunate incident there. Were you concerned about Wrecker at one point during the race there?
Yeah, he's always good. I know a couple, races here and there. He's good on the long run as well, so he's always someone to watch out for. Stinks that he get a pit road speeding penalty there at the last pit stop, but I feel for him. But he's always a good challenge when you get into these mile and a halves or bigger 2 mile tracks that he's good at saving.
Let's talk a little bit about saving, Bryce. Traditionally, a lot of the times in this car, it's all about the right front. I think everybody kind of knows what they need to do. Some better at it than others, of course, and you're very good at it. This car a little different. We are working on the right rear a little bit here. What'd you have to do to mitigate that?
Um, I mean, kind of doing the same line as I would if I got to take care of the right front. It's more so keeping the car balanced on entry. You don't want to, slide the car in entry and then slide it off entry as well. You want to keep probably, 20% throttle into the corner, regardless of how late into the run you are. You still want to keep a little bit of gas pressure in there so that it can sit down in the corner and get to the apron like I always like to get to, and then just manage it throughout the corner. And then right when you get to exit, kind of be patient and then full throttle it again. But I'm super good with that. I've raced a lot of B Open this week, so that's helped a lot with the right rear pressures. And my second run after pitting before after Bernie, I saved the right rear just a little bit more than my second run than my first.
Well, let's also touch on pit road here. Coming into pit road is always when you come in is a big decision, and also getting on and off pit road absolutely huge here. So you come in a little bit early in the first run. It kind of surprised me a little bit. What was your thoughts there?
Yeah, so I looked at the laps and we had about 125, and we could go roughly 56 if I'm not mistaken. I want to say we could go that long, but you couldn't make it on a one stopper. So I kind of took that in three fourths and was like, okay, I could pit 45, I could pit 90, and then go to the end with 35 laps on the tire. So it wouldn't be a significant damage to the right rear and the right front, only running 35, so you can run a little bit harder, but you still want to save those tires. So I just wanted to split it down the middle. I didn't really care what everybody else did. I had a mindset to it, and I was going to stick to it. Um, Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love that, right? You came in with a plan. You don't let others affect your plan. You're going to run your plan and you're going to stick to it. I preach that. I love that. But, it wasn't a short pit, to be clear. It was a correct pit when he came in, but other people went longer. It seemed to be paying off. Person was kind of running you down. Wrecker was coming and all that. Did that change your mindset going into pit stop number two?
Um, Not really per se. I knew I wanted to pit around lap 90, but then when everybody started pitting at 86 and 87, I was like, okay, I got to come in. And when I wanted to come in, I was stuck with Tony on my inside and Brandon right on my tail. So I could not get down to the bottom, so I had to go one more lap around. And that I don't think that costed me a bunch of time, but it sure costed me a little bit because I came out right in front of Bernie, or side by side with him. So yeah, I mean, I had four lap fresher tires than everybody, and that kind of helped me pull away and keep on dinging.
Well, Bryce, I mean, the championship here is all kinds of crazy. It's very tight amongst, oh, I mean, you could probably go all the way down to 15th place or so, and it's pretty tight. So it's going to be a crazy fight, man. I mean, is this a thought in this Sunday night series?
Oh, it's always tough in the Xfinity car with everybody who comes out to race. I mean, we have fast guys from first on back to 25th. You know, it's people back in the pack at great finishes, and some of us lead guys fall off or finish outside the top 10 or have troubles or anything like that. So anything can happen. Um, I'm missing George out there tonight. I don't know if he's got something going on or he's busy, but I would have loved to battle him as well. I know he's fast all the time. But yeah, we'll just keep on digging and hopefully we'll close that gap to the points lead again.
All right. Well, I'm sure you will. You keep racing like tonight. Congratulations on a fantastic victory here this evening. And we'll turn it over to you, brother. Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, thanks, guys. You guys do a tremendous job up in the booth. I can't wait to watch this one back. Hopefully, it was fun to broadcast for you guys, and there was a lot of green flag runs, so I don't think there was much to talk about, but I'm sure there were battles. Shout out to the admins for this league. They do a tremendous job with 30 plus cars every week or however many we get. Um, Team Conti, Sim Performance. It's always great to have them on the car and help me with the long run battles that we always get throughout the week, and Digital Sim Sports, Martin PC, and my father who's watching right now, or well, he was, and shout out to the top three guys. I mean, Bernie had an awesome run tonight. Finally got back into the podium position. Greg's up there as well, and sucks for Adam Recker, but he'll come back.
All right, Jared. That's the 14. Bryce Reiner back at his home, the Bat Cave, or Victory Lane, I guess is what we call it.
Yeah, 2 wins on the year for Bryce, and a hole that he kind of got himself into because of the results, at Daytona and Atlanta. But back in the running now, Dane 3 straight top fives, 2 straight poles, and 2 wins on the year. I mean, Bryce Reiner, he's coming in really tight, and I think he's gonna be a force for this championship.
Well, he certainly is, and like we keep saying, it's going to be a tough battle. A lot of people involved in it, and of course, we have all the coverage right here, and it's every Sunday night, 9:10 p.m. It's the Alive Church Xfinity Series, Live Fully Alive. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Jared Carr, that's going to wrap it up from Las Vegas, and we'll see you right here next time